some folks away. There are strange things happen every day. Oh, every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. There are strange things happening every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. There are strange things happening every day. If you hew right to the line, you can live right all the time. There are strange things happening every day. Oh, every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. There are strange things happening every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. There are strange things happening every day. Vienna. Jesus is the holy light, turning darkness into light. There are strange things happening every day. Oh, every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. There are strange things happening every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. There are strange things happening every day. Well, every day. Every day. There are strange things happening every day. Every day. Every day. There are strange things happening every day. There are strange things happening every day.
Sleepy LaBeef, everybody. We'll be right back. Folks, we are back. I'm here with Sleepy LaBeef. That was great. Thank you very much for doing that. That sounded fantastic.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you seem to be having a great time. That was
great time. And a great audience, too.
Yeah, well, they're fun.
Great band.
You've been doing this for a long time. You got your start in the 50s, and you were actually one of the opening acts for Elvis. Is that true, back in the 50s?
Well, with a few more people, you know.
Who else were you with back then?
I think maybe there's George Jones, Tommy Sands, Roy Orbison. We'd have maybe 2 or 3 songs, or 10 minutes each, to make maybe fill up an hour.
Right.
And then Elvis, Scotty, and Bill would come on.
Wow, and then those shows back then, this is the very early days of rock and roll. Were you aware that this is something that's going to have ramifications? I mean, here it is, 40 years later, it's still going. Were you aware of that?
I think we were. I think, you know, there's some people said it was a fad and it would pass. It did pass all over the world, you know, still going, really.
Right.
People still love it.
Now, I know that very early on, when you were playing these shows, a lot of times you were playing rock and roll for crowds that probably wanted to hear or expected to hear country music. Did this go over well?
I think maybe Conan, in the middle 50s, they were ready for a transition, for everything to come together. You know, I think most of your good music was inspired by the Southern foot-stomping, hand-clapping gospel, and the blues and the hillbilly boogie. All this came together, and they called it rock and roll. Then they called it rockabilly, country rock. By whatever name you call it, I think it's good stuff. The
Yeah,
root
well.
music, the real stuff.
Now, when you heard this stuff through the radio then. I mean, how did you get the influence? How did this thing take hold with you?
Well, I was born in South Arkansas, a little French community, originally called Sumac Covert. But the people around South Arkansas called it Smackover. Smackover, Arkansas, the home of Clyde Scott, you know. So I would listen to XCRF in Del Rio, Texas. That was the border station just over into Mexico, and they had aimed that beam right across the USA. So we'd listen to Wolfman Jack and Walter Bales doing the gospel songs.
And from
Wolfman Jack doing everything else, you know. And then WLAC, listen to Hossman, John R. out of Nashville, Tennessee, and WSM Grand Ole Opry. So we had a cross-section of appreciation.
It was just a melting pot. You heard the whole thing, and it has never stopped. And
that's right.
Well, we really appreciate you coming here and playing your music for us. It was a real treat for us.
A real pleasure. Thank
Best
you.
of luck with the album. Really. Sleepy LaBeef, everybody. We'll be right back.